Apparently, the citizens of Minneapolis are suing for more police protection. What? Oh. We've got a SWAT Fuel Word of the Week question for you guys. And if you're listening live, yes, we do these live. And if you're not aware of that, and if you haven't been paying attention, that we do these things live, well, now you know. You can watch them live where? Zach, where can they watch it live if they want to?
If you want to watch it live, you can join our Discord. Is that, remind me, is the Discord part exclusive to the grad program? Or is that now part of public?
The live, yeah, everybody in the public can join the Discord.
There you go. And then you can watch it on our YouTube channel or our Facebook channel, which are both Student of the Gun at both of those locations.
There you go. That's right. So all that and more coming up on Monday's episode of Student of the Gun Radio.
Stand by for education, enlightenment, enjoyment, and entertainment.
He's not here to talk about your feelings. He's not here to say what you want to hear. He's here to say what needs to be said.
Ladies and gentlemen, and children of all ages, please welcome your host, the pimp hand of America, Professor Paul Markle.
All right, rock and roll gunfight. There we go. We got the rock and roll gunfight. I was doing a little bit of rock and roll gunfighting yesterday. If you guys saw, I was shooting my my AK Shody, and I was shooting it right around dusk, right as the sun was going down. And let me tell you what, short-barreled AKs are flamethrowers. That is no joke. And I even had a muzzle device on it. I've got a barking spider on that one with the flash suppressor adapter or attachment. And you say, then why is it flashing so much? Because it's a rifle caliber. There's a lot of powder, and it has a short barrel, and that's a lot of powder to burn up. So, yeah. Interesting. Can you imagine if I didn't have a device on that gun, Jared, how obnoxious it would be?
That would be crazy. It'd be like somebody that we know that leaves their silencers at home in the safe where they belong.
Yeah, that's right, where they belong. Yeah, shoots a 9-inch barrel gun with no muzzle device on it. Yeah, if you're
I think it had a compensator on it, which made it worse for the people next to him.
A race comp. No, yeah, these short barrel guns. If you're going to shoot an RCP, you've got to put something on the end of them. I mean, you don't have to, but if you don't, it's going to be like getting punched in the face every time you pull the trigger. That's coming up. And the reason I was doing that is because we're filming more segments for the Patriot Fire Teams. We have a series, Patriot Fire Team educational series, that's available to everybody who's in the grad program via the student lounge. So if you're in the grad program and you haven't availed yourself to the Patriot Fire Team educational series yet, well, do it. And if you're listening and you say, well, I want to see that. I want those videos. Well, join the grad program. It's super simple. Jared will tell you how.
Go to getsotg.com and follow the directions there. It's super easy. We made it a low barrier of entry for you. And if you would like to stay, then you can stay. If you'd like to go after the 30-day trial, then you can go. And we will part ways amicably. There we go.
Yeah.
Like, that's a hard word for me to say.
And if you go to getsotg.com right now, the video is testimonials from like-minded individuals, from you guys out there. Not from us. Forget what we had to say. Listen to what other people have to say. And then if you listen to what other people have to say and you still don't agree, then peace out. Peace out. All right. SWAT Fuel Word of the Week. We have a question here. This question has been asked in this form or similar form numerous times. And I thought, okay, it's time to just go ahead and address this. So, Zach, play some music, and then we'll do some talking. There's that guy again. That guy grunting and yelling. Rah! All right. If you'd like to be the SWAT Fuel Warrior of the Week, you can call the phone number 844-207-7684. And I believe that's actually directly in the show notes. So if you have your little device, if you got your little phony phone thing and you're listening, you can just open the show notes and go, boop, hit it, and it will dial, and you can ask your question. It's as simple as that. All right. The winner today is me. I'm the winner because I'm going to answer a question that's been posed to me several ways in several different configurations. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to go ahead and address it. Zach, will you read the question?
Sure thing. The question is, how do I convince my family and friends to pay attention and get serious about survival?
Okay. Yes. This is a topic that comes up quite frequently. You know, we're all the time, and we've been doing the get prepared thing for years and years and years. And people are like, well, you know, how can I convince? You know, what do I have to do to get my friends, my family, to get them to get serious? You know, how can I convince them? The truth is, you can't. Or what do you mean I can't? Well, you can't convince them. If they're going to be convinced, if they're going to decide, then they're going to do it on their own. You can't make them. That's the other phraseology. How do I make my family get serious? Or how do I make my family and friends? Or how do I make my friends take the situation more seriously? You can't make them. You can't force them. You cannot cajole them. They're going to have to come to that realization on their own. Now, some people are an easy sell. You know, you give them, you know, a piece of information and they digest it and they okay, I get it now. I'm on board. And then there are others that have so many mental roadblocks that they've assembled, that they put up for themselves, that they're just not going to do it. Oh, it was on a grad program, Zach, wasn't it? It was on a grad program that we talked about the demoralization.
Yeah, that was about 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah, and how you need to come to the realization, and you need to accept the fact that there are some people that have gone through a process of demoralization where it doesn't matter what you say. You can't. There's nothing that you can say that will change their minds. And it's frustrating. You know, it's extremely frustrating for you because maybe you really feel like you've seen the light. You're like, okay, I pay attention. I've seen the light, you know, based upon history and fact. It's really important for people to be self-sufficient and to stop being reliant upon others, whether it's the government or whatever, to take care of their own to take care of their problems for them, right? What can I do? And you know, Zach or Jared, you probably didn't listen, Zach, but Jared, did you ever listen to the Barbell Logic where Matt and Scott were talking? They were answering a question, and it was somebody who said, how can I convince my dad to take his health more seriously?
Yep. And the answer was you can't.
You can't.
Actually, it wasn't that you can't. It was more of the just keep doing what you're doing, lead by example, and hopefully at some point in time he'll get interested in it. Yeah.
Yeah. The answer, you know, and they might have even been, how can I make my dad, you know, take his health more seriously? Or how can I make my dad, you know, whatever, want to get strong? Oh, and the answer that they gave him is essentially at some point in time, you need to realize that you cannot forcefully, or it's not like a child. You can tell a child, hey, we're going here, get in the car. I don't care whether you like it or not. This is what's going to happen. But you can't do that with adults. You can't do it with your family. You can't do it with your parents. You know, the only thing you can do, as like, you know, Jared just alluded to, is set the example, right? that is the one thing you can do. A lot of people, Scott was talking about, he says, he has an older friend, and he says, he's got a son, and he said, I wish I could, have conversations with my son like I have with you. And eventually I had told him, like, look, your son doesn't have anything to say. And once your children are grown, you're an adult and your children are grown, you're like, how can I make my kids, my kids are in their 20s or 30s or whatever, how can I make them blah, blah, blah? Well, you can't. The best that you can do is lead by example. And that is something that you can do. How do I convince my family to pay attention and to take survival more seriously? How do I convince them to do that? Well, you can't convince them per se, but you can lead by example. Now you say, well, Paul, I've been leading by example, and they think I'm a kook or a nut or I'm paranoid or whatever. Well, if that's the case, then you just need to accept it. Say, okay, I'm the crazy guy. I'm the nutball. I'm a kook, and I'm not paranoid like you. I don't think I need to carry a gun all the time. I'm not paranoid like you. You know who had something to say about that? A dude named Solomon. And in Proverbs 22:10, he said, drive out the scoffer, and contention will go out. Even strife and dishonor will cease. Now, you can look that up, and you can get the KJV version or the ASB version or whatever version you want to get. But essentially, what does drive out the scoffer mean? Jared? What does drive out the scoffer?
Get rid of the naysayers, essentially.
Yep. Drive out the scoffer. If you have one of those people in your life who's like, I'm not paranoid like you, I don't think I need to have a bunch of food in my house, and no. Okay, fine, great, awesome. Don't. It's kind of like the why do you think you need to have a tourniquet? It's not for you. Don't worry. New International Version says, drive out the mocker, and out goes strife, quarrels, and insults are ended. Throw out the mocker, and fighting goes out too. Quarrels and insults disappear. So, yeah, if you've got one of those people, if you're in that position right now where you've been taking your family's survival seriously, you've been preparing, you go to classes, you do that, and you tell people, and they're like, yeah, this guy over here thinks that he needs to have a stockpile of food. You're one of those hoarders, aren't you? Are you one of those hoarders? You mean people who keep food in their houses, who grow food and can it and keep it in their houses? Yeah, guilty as charged. If that's the kind of people you've got there, what did Solomon say, man? Drive out the scorner. Drive them out. The scoffer. Drive out the scoffer. Drive out the mocker. And your life will be a whole lot better. The best that you can do in that question, how do I convince my family and friends to whatever, be more self-sufficient? How do I convince them to, it's kind of like, how can I convince my wife that she needs to carry her gun all the time?
Carry your gun all the time?
Yeah, carry your gun all the time. Show her that it's important.
No, I have a better idea.
What?
You could stage a kidnapping. Now, hear me out. Although some wives might like that, so maybe not.
No, do not stage a kidnapping. Yeah, the best that you can do is be faithful to your own beliefs. If you believe wholeheartedly that what you're doing is correct, then just keep doing it. If you believe that that carrying all the time is important, if you believe that having food in your house is important, if you believe that being self-sufficient is important, then keep on doing that, and don't allow other people, mockers, scorners, to dissuade you. Don't allow scoffers to make you feel bad about it. And go forward and do good things. And I understand, really, I genuinely do. I genuinely understand that you cannot make certain people are just not going to get it. They're not going to pay attention to you. They're not going to listen. What did Christ say? He said a prophet is never respected in his own home, in his own territory, his own city. I mean, whichever version, KJV or whatever. And he said, because they knew him. He was absolutely right, obviously, because they knew him. They're like, oh, I know you. I saw you grow up. I saw you when you were 5 years old hanging out, on your mom's skirt. And now you're 33 years old and you're telling me what I should do. I'm not going to listen to you. So there may be people that you've known, maybe they knew you in elementary school, or, maybe they watched you grow up and you say, hey, we should all be doing this. And whatever. I'm not going to listen to you. Okay, fine. And it is frustrating and it can make you feel bad, but at some point in time, you need to realize that you're just going to make yourself frustrated if you keep banging your head. There's a wall and you're banging your head against it. Do what you need to do the right thing. And eventually some people are going to come to you. It's like our buddy EJ said several years ago. He's a firearms trainer of some renown, and the guys would come up to him at his kid's school and they're like, hey man, you're one of those gun guys, right? Yeah. Can you teach me some of that gun stuff? Yeah, I could teach you some of that gun stuff. Eventually, if you do the right thing, eventually people will seek you out. They were like, hey man, you're one of those tourniquet guys. Can you teach me some of that tourniquet stuff? Yeah, man, I can teach you some of that tourniquet stuff. So I know it's hard for you guys. That's one of the great things about the grad program. Da, 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 da. Why is it? What do you mean? How is this? No, stop, Paul. Why is it a good thing about the grad program? Because you get to commune with. You might feel like you're on an island. I love when I do hand gestures on the radio. You might feel like you're on an island and that you're the only one that gets it. And you're like, why am I the only person that gets it? Am I crazy? Am I nuts? And then, you get in the Liberty Mastermind group, you get in the grad program, and you start talking with other people, and you realize, no, you're not nuts. And that there are a bunch of other people who think and feel the same way that you do. You just haven't been able to, speak or talk to them. I know some of our fans have said, man, Paul, you keep saying we need to have a team of like-minded individuals, but my neighbors are all a bunch of not strong people.
Pansies,
right?
The P word you're looking for.
Yeah. My neighbors are a bunch of weak, not strong people, and they just don't seem to care. And what am I supposed to do? And I'm like, I don't know, man. You shouldn't be living where you're living. Jared, I love people who are some of our audience are like Hollywood celebrities. They're going to wait till after the election and then move to a different place.
That's funny.
Who was it that he said he'd be on the first plane to Australia if Trump won again?
Oh, do these people not
remember all the threats that they were going to go to Canada?
They not hear the words that they come out.
Off topic. Back to survival and other stuff.
I got it. So anyway, don't be frustrated. And if you want to talk to other people who do get it and have advice and have good things and positive things to share, then go ahead and get in the grad program. But maybe you've got a great team. And if you've got a great team, rock on.
If you have a great team, bring them all to the grad program.
Yeah, take care of those people. All right, speaking of people who are paying attention, Jared is about to honor and thank our top contributors to the Student of the Gun public group.
Yep, I say this every week. So those of you that are longtime listeners are probably like, dude, just shut up. But rest assured, we have new listeners that have never heard me say this before. We've got a public group. We have it both on Facebook and inside the Student Lounge. And I want to take a moment to thank the top 10 contributors to that public group. If you are a Facebook user, then go just search Student of the Gun public group and join the group. Our admins do a fantastic job of vetting posts and vetting people. So I appreciate them. Number 10 is Steve Pergantis. 9 is Andy Duncan. 8, Derek Babcock. 7, Melissa Ridings. 6 is Alan Blake. 5 is JD Guthrie. 4 is Brandon Schultz. 3, Daniel Larson. 2 is Scott Hernandez. And 1 is Lynn Torowski. Thank you, guys. I appreciate your taking the time and the effort to contribute to the public group.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Now, if you are a grad program member, there is a specific group for you that only grad program members are able to join and actually use. And when you get into the student lounge, there's a link there for you. You've got the Discord server and you've got the Liberty Mastermind group on Facebook. So follow those links from the student lounge.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And oh, P.S. If you Google my name, I am not the dentist. And don't send me x-rays. Okay? Don't email me x-rays. What are you talking about? So there are 3 Paul Markles in the world that are apparently of note. Me, a professor in North Dakota, and a dentist.
That's funny.
And I have been emailed x-rays. Hey, will you take a look at these and tell me what you think? I think you shouldn't be sending me people's x-rays.
Hashtag HIPAA.
Hashtag HIPAA. That's what I do. I reply and I put hashtag HIPAA sent.
And they still send them.
And then I go, I was like, nope. But you know, the thing is, I'm getting x-rays. Why couldn't there be another Paul Markle that's like a general practitioner? No, I don't want that. I was going to say topless selfies or something, but no, you don't want that.
You don't want that.
You don't want that. It's kind of like when you're 18 and you think that being a gynecologist would be an awesome job, and and then you talk to a gynecologist and they're like, nope. I mean, it is, but it's not what you think. It's not what you think. Not what you think at all. Duracoat, what? Because life is too short
to have an ugly gun.
Yes, and no, we did not Duracoat the AK cake. That was fondant.
That was totally Duracoat.
That was fondant. That was the
edible
stuff,
Duracoat.
It was stuff that you put on wedding cake. If you don't know what fondant is, it's.
I didn't know until I started watching the whatever Alex watches, Cake Boss or something.
Master Chef.
I guess I didn't start watching it, but
you roll it out.
Yeah.
It's like frosting that you can mold, essentially. Yeah. So check out Duracoat. I know we're not talking about frosting, but Duracoat, they have a battleship gray and they have a tactical gray and they have slightly darker black. If you'd like to have a slightly darker black anything, go to DuracoatFirearmFinishes.com, order some. You'll be good to go. You will. Crossbreed Holsters, makers of the Super Tuck Deluxe, the Reckoning, and now the Chest Rig. And you can get all of that stuff from them. If you use the promo code SOTG18, you're going to save some money, and then you be a happy camper. You know, I mean, I would be. If you want to upgrade your holster, you say, I want to get some of the cool, funky, neat upgrades. Well, cool. Use our promo code, and it'll be as if you got them for free. Yes, indeed. Good people over there at crossbreedholsters.com. Good people at Duracoat, of course. And then there are good people at Brownells. Brownells.com is where you need to go. Pete Brownell just did a little video. They are doing a Second Amendment virtual rally, an online rally, kind of a dealio-yo. You know why I know that? Because I subscribe to the Brownells newsletter. How much did that cost you? It cost me like
$0.00.
Yeah, 15 seconds worth of time to sign up for it. And you know what else I got yesterday? And I'm not even joking. I got an email, and the title of the email was Ammo Stock Update.
Yeah, you want to open that one quick.
Yep. Yeah, no kidding. Because they're going to tell you, hey, P.S., we just unpacked a shipping crate, and this was in it. And if you want it, you need to buy it now.
In fact, too late.
Too late. No, it was it was titled Ammo Stock Update. And if you guys are out there and you're like, doggone it, every time I go to find ammo, I can't find it. Like, well, go to Brownells, sign up for their newsletter, and every time they unpack a shipping crate that has ammo in it, they put together an email for their list and they send it out. And they're like, listen up, freak. It's time. And that's just simply what you're going to have to do in this day and age.
Oh, somebody just sent me some boobies to send you.
No, you're full of crap.
I'm sending it right now in Slack.
You're full of crap. You're full.
There are the boobies.
I'm sure it's going to be something horrible. But, the other thing that you can do, and we talked about this last week, is that you can actually go and drive to your local stores and see what's there instead of saying, I went online and they didn't have any blah, blah, blah. Well, did you check like with your local gun shop guy and see what they've got? You could do that. You're allowed. You're an American. So support those guys. Support Duracoat, Crossbreed Holsters, SWAT Fuel, Brownells. Support those guys. They support us. All right. Listen up, new listeners, or pay attention because this is for you.
Attention, new listeners. We produced a complimentary online training course called 7 Training Tips That Could Save Your Life. Get instant access by joining the Student Lounge for free at studentofthegun.com. Do you watch Student of the Gun TV, read the blog, and follow us on Facebook? If you answered no to any of these questions, you are wrong, but you can easily fix yourself. Go to studentofthegun.com to find everything SOTG.
Dun, 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 dun. All right. One of Rush Limbaugh's undeniable truths. Rush Limbaugh has a list of undeniable truths. And one of those is liberalism always generates the opposite or the exact opposite of its stated intent. Yes. Remember that. When you see stories about left-wing Democrat liberal puke bags and they're like, we're going to come up with a program that helps the poor and the downtrodden and the minorities and the women and the no. Look at how the Democrats and the liberals, how they view abortion. It's women's health care. Really? So you're concerned about women's health care or reproductive rights. Okay. We got a story here out. It's from theblaze.com. And as we read this, I want you to think about what I just said about what liberalism always generates the exact opposite of its stated intent. Now, remember, the mayor of Minneapolis, it's M-N-A-E-A-Polis, is a scumbag communist. The mayor is a scumbag communist, and he's a member of the, what is his political party? It's it sounds righteous, but it's really, I have to look at, Democratic Farm Labor Party, which, I'm sorry, they're just a bunch of socialist communist puke bags. Jared, go ahead and read the story here from theblaze.com.
It says Minneapolis residents sue the city over police shortages amid violent crime wave. They saying, we want law and order. Residents are taking action. Minneapolis residents, angry over the surge of violent crime in the city, have decided that enough is enough. 8 residents have sued the city over what they say is insufficient policing that has left residents fearing for their lives amid the violent crime wave. In fact, the lawsuit claims there are currently fewer sworn police officers employed with Minneapolis Police Department than what is required by the city charter. And I'm doing
the Home Alone face.
This is from KMSP TV. It says the group of petitioners questioned the city leader leaders about the number of police officers currently deployed across the city. They contend the MPD has fallen below the minimum thresholds required in the city's charter because of the number of officers who have either gone out on some type of leave or quit since the deadly Memorial Day arrest. Minneapolis police officers found the riots following George Floyd's death on May 25th so traumatic, in fact, that as of July, about 200 officers, or 20% of the city's police force, have applied to leave the force. That's a huge amount.
20%.
And apparently the city is not in a hurry to find replacements.
How do you find replacements? Who do you convince?
Yeah.
Hey, I got a good job for you. You want to be a Minneapolis cop? It's awesome, man.
This is a quote from Kathy Spann, who is a plaintiff. She said, "We are here because of people's safety. We want law and order. We want reform, but we are in this city to stay. Enough, or to say enough is enough." End quote. And then former city council member Don Samuel said, "We have made the emotional appeal. We have demonstrated the statistical uptick, and now this is the legal action we are exercising because it seems as if the city council cannot hear us and doesn't feel what we feel." End quote. The Minneapolis City Council, comprised of 12 Democrats and 0 Republicans, used the Minneapolis Police Department as a scapegoat. Following Floyd's tragic death, the council promised residents to abolish the police department and establish an alternative system of community policing. But they quickly learned that inflammatory rhetoric doesn't translate to functional policy. My understanding with the defund the police dealio is that it got halted. I don't know, but that doesn't matter because people, the police are like, well, I'm out, peace out.
Well,
and so it's
that sponsored that.
Sponsored what?
The defund the police movement.
I haven't been able to find names.
They voted,
but there was, what'd you say?
The council members got together and proudly voted and announced that they were going to defund the police.
Yeah. And that's, I've been searching for, since that happened, I've been searching for names and I can't find names of the council members who actually voted for that. As the crime wave began to plague residents, the city council, in the wake of their anti-policing rhetoric, were left asking where the police. Then just last month, city council members that once demanded the abolition of the police department began to backtrack. City council member Andrew Johnson said the promise was made in spirit. That was quote, end quote. Council member Felipe Cunningham claimed that, so here's two names, that their rhetoric was up for interpretation. And council president Lisa Bender said, quote, "I think our pledge created confusion in the community and in our wards," end quote. You think? Because it was an emotional decision.
Well, that's because they made their decision before any of the facts were in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's emotional. Still, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey, a Democrat, released next year's budget last month. It includes $14 million in police budget cuts. Where does that money go?
To social workers and grief counselors. Aren't there enough grief counselors in Minneapolis?
It's interesting. I guess at least the residents are doing something. They're like, hey, this isn't enough is enough. We got to do something.
Do you guys remember when the Minneapolis mayor asked the rioters to practice social distancing and wear masks?
Yeah,
that's a real story. And the city, and they were burning the city down, and instead of criticizing them, they called them protesters. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the deal. Minneapolis is the quintessential perfect example of you get what you pay for. You imbeciles in Minneapolis, you left-wing Democrat, the last 4 mayors have been from the Democrat Farm Labor Party, communists. All right. Sorry. They're socialist puke bags. There's no other way to get around it. You vote for socialists, you put them in office, And then you get what they always give you. They give you anarchy. Detroit, another perfect example. We're going to fight for the little man and the black people and the downtrodden. 40, 50 years of Democrat rule. And they ran it right into the ground. Now, Rush Limbaugh said liberalism always generates the exact opposite of its stated intent. I'm also going to give you one of the tenets. That's T-E-N-E-T, not tenant, not a person who lives in an apartment, but the tenet of liberalism. Never take responsibility for your actions. Can we all agree? Of course we can. And if you can't, you're not intellectually honest. People of Minneapolis, what happened in your city was your fault. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It was evil, mean, racist police officers. Jared.
Did you know that there's a movie that's called Tenet?
Yes, I did.
I did not know that. It's showing now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there you go.
So what did George Floyd actually die of? Did George Floyd die because a police officer had his knee on his neck and the knee on his neck killed him? No. He died of COVID. Actually, remember the story that medical examiners revealed that George Floyd was positive coronavirus when he died? What that had to do with anything, I don't know. The full autopsy of George Floyd, the man who died while being restrained, revealed that he had COVID. Oh, yeah, and P.S. also had a lethal amount of fentanyl and methamphetamines in his system. Well, but the drugs were not the cause. So, ladies and gentlemen, fentanyl is hospital heroin. Fentanyl is no joke. All right? Methamphetamines. All right. So we got a dude who had methamphetamines and fentanyl in his system. And they're like, oh, the drugs, that's not what killed him. Really? Really? Now, if you watch the video, you're like, I'm not watching any video because it's not going to tell me what I want to know. He was screaming, I can't breathe the whole time. Jared, when someone's screaming, I can't breathe, are they telling you the truth?
No, because if you can't breathe, you can't talk.
Oh, you don't know that. You don't. George Floyd also suffered from heart disease, hypertension, and had the sickle cell trait. I don't know if that had anything to do with it. So if you have now I've got a question, Jared. You ever know anybody who's had like hypertension or heart disease? Is it or is it not a good idea if you have hypertension and heart disease to illegally ingest fentanyl and methamphetamines?
Yeah.
That's not going to, what? No. So George Floyd, the martyred saint of the left, right? They didn't wait for the autopsy. They didn't wait for the videos to be released. They decided immediately to burn the city down. And then the Democrat council decided immediately that the entire police department was wrong, even though the entire police department was their police department. You ever notice that, Jared, how the city councils try and act like it's not their police department? When the police do something that they don't like, they're like, oh, it's not ours. Who hired the chief? Well, we did. What do you mean who hired the chief? Who's in charge of the popo? Well, the chief of police. Who hires the chief of police? The mayor and the council. Yeah. So you're in Minneapolis, and for decades, you're voting for liberal Democrat communists. And then you're super upset that the police aren't doing what you think that they should do. Okay. But, and Jared, you remember when Muhammad ain't going to work here no more, whatever his last name was, the first ever Muslim Minneapolis cop, when he executed that woman?
Yeah. There was not a big stink that was made.
Did they get rid of the mayor? Did they vote for a different mayor? No. They went right on and voted for a liberal Democrat.
It's because nobody knew about it. Like the media went crazy with this one. So everybody knew about it.
Everybody in Minneapolis knew about it. They had the opportunity to make a change. They didn't.
It says on the autopsy report, Section 3 is no life-threatening injuries identified. 3A, no facial, oral, or conjunctival. B is no injuries of anterior muscles of neck or laryngeal structures. So
the fentanyl didn't kill him, but he didn't get choked to death. And so what did he die of? But he's a martyr. We're going to build gold statues of him. Remember, when he died, they had thousands of people showed up for his memorial services, multiple memorial services. And that wasn't a super spreader of COVID. But if you're a peasant and you die, you're not allowed to have a funeral. Your family can't go to a funeral. They can't have more than 10 people there because you're a peasant. Ladies and gentlemen, okay, what's going on right now in Portland, Jared? They've basically lost control of that city. They basically lost control. They've basically given up. Who's been running Portland for decades?
Donald Trump.
Yeah, Donald Trump and the Republican Party have been running Portland, Oregon. No, Portland, Oregon has been run by psychotic liberal crapbags for decades. And guess what? They're burning the place to the ground. And guess why? Because eventually, at some point in time, you get what you deserve and you get what you paid for. You cannot support and vote for liberal Democrat communists and then act surprised when this stuff happens. But one of the great tenets of liberalism is never, ever, 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 under any circumstance, take responsibility for your actions. It's not their fault. It's somebody else's fault. It's Donald Trump's fault. It's Donald Trump's fault because he's not nice enough. Because he didn't make me feel warm and fuzzy. He didn't say things I wanted to hear. I'm assuming that there's probably some good cops in Minneapolis. Why would they possibly want to stay? Why? Why would they possibly want to stay? Or they're like, okay, I'll stay on the force and I'll sign on and I'll get in my cruiser and I'll go park in the Dunkin' Donuts lot. And if you need me, give me a call and I'll go there in an hour and I'll take a report. And that's what's going to happen. No, there's looting and it's out of control and it's no. Like I said, this is my Home Alone shock phase. What? These people they're literally the definition of insanity. And the people are like, well, we didn't tell the city council to vote to defund the police. We didn't tell them to do that. No, you elected them all. And they're all Democrats. There you go. It's like Flint, Michigan with the water thing. Every single person in the Flint, Michigan city council and mayor are Democrats. And they have poisoned water. And they're like, Donald Trump doesn't care enough. Yeah, that's it. Exactly. All right. What are we at for time right now?
44 minutes.
44 minutes. I think that's pretty good.
We could just skip that thing I posted about.
Wow. You didn't have to make it disappear.
Okay, fine there. Are you familiar with what I'm referring to?
Yeah, I am actually, because your mom brought it up yesterday when we were talking. Chris Pratt is a good guy. Really, he is. Chris Pratt's a good dude. He's a Christian. He's been one of the very few Hollywood people that won't simply bow down and worship their leftist idols whenever they're told to. And because he hasn't done that, all the rest of Hollywood, they're basically ganging up on him, telling him he better get in line. If he wants to get invited to the cool parties, he better get in line.
It looks like his friends in Hollywood, like Hollywood actors, are supporting him.
That's good. Avengers assembled to defend Chris Pratt, who was voted the worst Chris in Hollywood. And why was he voted the worst Chris in Hollywood?
I don't know.
Yeah. So, all right. Why don't we just save that for that's too much to get into. We're 44 minutes already. Ladies and gentlemen, if we want, we can talk about that. And we can talk about it on Wednesday. If you want to talk about Chris Pratt or Iron Man or
your call.
And you know what's sad to me is that so many people that we thought were probably thoughtful, intelligent humans have come out and proven that they're not. But then there are other people who are now on our side, like 50 Cent. You know what my mom says?
Ice Cube apparently.
50.
Yeah,
apparently
Ice Cube and 50 Cent they're on our side.
Yeah.
And that's got the left just twisting. Their panties are all super twisted up. They can't believe that because they thought that they own those people. Don't those people know that the left owns them?
Well, remember what Joe Biden said.
What? That's right. Welcome 50 Cent and 50 Cent. That's right. 50 and Ice Cube are now not black. What do you?
Oh, yeah, that's what Joe Biden said.
Joe Biden said, if you don't vote for him, you ain't black. So apparently 50 and Ice Cube ain't black, according to Sleepy Joe. Oh, yes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the moral of the story is this. Just keep doing what you're doing. You cannot force people to pay attention. You cannot force people to take things seriously. The best that you can do is to be a good example and to, believe in what you're doing and keep doing it. And eventually, maybe they'll come around to you. All right, that's it for today. Thank you very much for being a part of the Student of the Gun audience. And if you'd like to take advantage of those Patriot Fire Team, Jared, we've got several programs that are available free to the grad program in the student lounge. There's the Patriot Fire Team series is available.
Yeah, 7 training tips that could save your life is obviously there.
Okay.
There's a couple other ones. Everything's laid out on getsotg.com.
Yeah.
Go there, see what your peers have to say, the other people that have joined the grad program, because we could talk about it all day long, but it means more when it's coming from somebody that's like you, that's in the grad program. Like we're all like each other. That's the great thing about the grad program. But it's like the company that puts on the thing, of course they're going to talk good about the product that they have. So go listen to what other people have to say. And then there's a nice checklist. There's 3 different ones that tell you exactly what each level gets. And if you have any other questions, we're always open for you. There's a little chat bubble in the bottom right of that screen. You can also email info@studentofthegun.com or text 307-312-2057.
Okay, and the question that from Tristan Shinney is the NASB. That is the answer to your question. NASB. All right, ladies and gentlemen, remember, you're a beginner once.
You're a student for life.
We appreciate your reviews. If you haven't left a review or updated yours recently, head on over to Facebook, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast player to voice your opinion. Don't forget to join us at the Student Lounge, a place for like-minded individuals to learn, connect, and support each other. No chicanery will be tolerated. Remember to check studentofthegun.com daily for new, free content and giveaways. Watch, listen, read, shop, and connect at studentofthegun.com. Are you a social butterfly? Connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for new content each and every day at Student of the Gun. Watch Student of the Gun TV and videos from our trusted partners on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Chromecast, and even AirPlay. Go to studentofthegun.com for direct links, and remember, you're a beginner once, a student for life.